Giant pandas in Edinburgh Zoo couldn't.
A brood of 18 extremely rare Madagascan pochard ducklings have hatched in captivity as conservationists battle to save the species from extinction.
Aren't they sweet? And we'll be speaking to Nige Jarrett, Head of Conservation Breeding at the Wildfowl and Wetlands Trust, just after 8 o'clock here on Breakfast.
Well, now let's look at our top stories in a moment. Carol will have a full roundup of the weather for us.
First, let's get more on our main story this morning. The latest salvo in the battle against smoking is launched by the government today with the introduction of a ban on the display of cigarettes and other tobacco products in supermarkets and large shops in England.
The government hopes it will discourage young people from smoking and may even help hardened smokers to quit. But will keeping cigarettes under wraps at the point of sale really make any difference?
Well, marketing expert and author Jonathan Gawd is here, and also with us is Cancer Research UK's Director of Tobacco Control, Jean King. Morning to you both. Thanks very much for joining us. First of all, to you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I mean, simple question: will it make any difference? Will it stop people smoking in your view?
It will make a difference. Is the answer to the first question.
Right.
Will it stop people smoking? Unfortunately, because I actually am against smoking personally, but unfortunately, I don't think it will stop people smoking.
We've had a text in from Marilyn Dover in Devon. Good morning to you. I'm an ex-smoker. To cover up cigarettes in shops is as preposterous as Victorians covering up piano legs. You learn to smoke from people, not packets.
And I have to actually agree with this to a point. Now, I understand that one of the arguments would be about conditioning. Yeah, and so that when the child's very, very young, you know, they get used to seeing the cigarette packets and all the rest of it. However, I would say to you, if you know, when you were younger or when your friends were younger, most people don't actually start smoking because they go to buy a packet of cigarettes. It's because their friends give them a quick cigarette behind the shed or whatever it might be when they're very young. And so you've got this thing of peer pressure. And so, although it's an excellent idea, and I'm all for anything that will actually, you know, improve the health of the nation and the future generations, I don't think it's enough. George Bernard Shaw once said, and I've got it here, for every complex problem, there's always a complex answer which is wrong.
OK. Jean, is it the answer for you, or at least part of the answer?
It's part of the answer. There's a series of measures that we need to take. We want to take cigarettes out of sight for children. This is about protecting children. And I beg to differ. There's a wealth of evidence from around the world that young people, when they see point-of-sale advertising, because it is a remaining form of advertising, the more they're exposed to it or the more aware they are of it, the more likely they are to go on to smoke. And there's evidence from the States, from Canada, New Zealand, and of course in Ireland they've already covered up packs since 2009, and our research showed that young people had different perceptions of smoking. So it's about denormalising this word. It's not a normal consumer product, it kills people, and we want it out of sight to protect
Jonathan, there's the embarrassment factor, particularly for younger children too. There's a huge difference between saying I'll have that and saying, excuse me, do you have any cigarettes?
No, it's deeper than that. I mean, it is deeper than that. You can't just hit this by just saying this. It's a great start. It's not just start, it's the next stage.
What will work?
So, well, let me just explain one thing. That when people will see the closed cabinets and so on and so forth, you see, if I was a brand person for a cigarette company, which I'm not, but if I was, I would know that I can relate a colour, even the colour of the cabinet or something like that, to it. Not only that, but the law actually says that things like accessories such as matches and so on and so forth, they're not subjected to this. So I would start actually putting my adverts on matches. I could do it all over the place and not even touch the idea of having it, that it's displayed. So to me, in fact, it actually makes it better because then it has more of a cachet that they got hold of the cigarettes. Not that I'm saying it's good.
Yeah, that's the other thing I want to pick up with you, because Jean, by hiding it, by making it something that is more difficult to get, does it add for children, particularly that little bit of, you know, cachet? It might be cool or not?
Well, at the moment, children say that the displays are cool because, of course, what you've seen since we had the advertising ban taking away billboards is that the displays have become more brightly lit. There's lots of different brands with bright colours on the packs, and, of course, we want to see the pack branding taken away as well. This is not a normal consumer product. It kills people. We want to protect the next generation of children. We need everything we possibly can do to make cigarettes unavailable, inaccessible, and something that children don't see as a normal product.
And taking that argument further, would you like to see the same for alcohol?
I think we need to look at alcohol. At the moment, we're talking about cigarettes because they kill 1 in 2. Tobacco is a unique product. If you use it exactly as the manufacturers intend, it will kill 1 in 2 long-term users. It's highly addictive. There is no positive use for it, and there's no known safe level of use. So let's just look at tobacco.
One last thing. When I was growing up, it was all about the corner shops and the newsagents and people like that. Today, it's about the internet, and the fact is you could still buy it on the internet in a way if you knew how to do it. And you can get around this. You can really get around this. I don't think this has been thought out enough. It's a great step, and I'm all for it, but it's not thought out enough.
Well, we need to close all of those loopholes.
Absolutely.
And certainly the World Health Organization says that we should be doing this, and all these other measures like standardised packaging, like internet marketing. We need to do everything we can to prevent young people getting hold of cigarettes.
Jean, Jonathan, thank you both very much.
Yes, thank you.
61124, a lot of you texting in already on this.
Yes, thank you for your emails and texts, and we'll read a few of them later. Simon will already look at some of them. It's just after 7:15. A ban on displays of cigarettes and other tobacco products. You're watching Breakfast from BBC News. Still to come on the programme this morning with petrol price.
She is supercharged and ready. Carol.
Thank you. Good morning. This morning it's a chilly start to the day. I don't know if you had to scrape your car first thing, but certainly there is some frost and like that. It will feel quite cool in the rain and the wind.
It was frosty. Did you have to scrape your windscreens?
I did, yes. I was expecting it, but you know what it's like. You get up at the crack of dawn, you go out in a daze, and then you think, oh no.
I gave the chauffeur the day off. Well, I'm your chauffeur. Thanks very much, Carol.
Thank you.
See you later. If you're looking forward to spending time outdoors over the Easter holiday, we have a warning today about the dangers of ticks.
Yes, getting a bite from these unpleasant, bloodthirsty creatures is nasty enough, but incidents of Lyme disease, which ticks can carry, are rising.
Our reporter Louise Hubble is on. Beautiful.